What's up, Variant Nation? It is Super Bowl Sunday, and like every year, the big game comes with first look trailers for some of the most anticipated movies of the year. Well, this year, that means Deadpool 3, which will have Ryan Reynolds returning as the Merc with the Mouth, joined by Hugh Jackman, who is reprising his role as Wolverine. Obviously, we're as excited as you about getting our first glimpse at what this movie has in store, which we hope will include the two of them teaming up, as well as beating the crap out of one another. So purely out of anxious anticipation, let's take a look at several of the best and most brutal fights between Deadpool and Wolverine that have happened in comics. And there are quite a few to choose from, so this should be really fun. So let's get into it. We're gonna start off with the first time Deadpool and Wolverine ever fought each other, which took place in Wolverine 88. Their fight starts off at the very beginning of the issue. On page 1, we see Wolverine arrive at an apartment saying, "Back in Canada, I promised James Hudson I'd stop over in Frisco and check up on the Kane kid for him." Another Weapon X. He's supposed to be... yeah, right. Something about the splintered door told me there was trouble here, as Wolverine asks, "Are you in there, Kane? Anybody in there?" And on the next page, Deadpool says, "Nobody home but us cold-blooded mercenary assassins. You wouldn't happen to know where old Shiny Arms went off to with my ex-squeeze Vanessa, would you? I'd do you a big solid and put you out of your interminable suffering." Wolverine answers, "I don't accept no favors from big mouth upstarts, bub, and I wouldn't stomp on your face if it was on fire, let alone rat out the Kane kid and his lady." At which point, Wolverine charges Deadpool and slashes right through one of his arms. But this is Deadpool, so of course he just makes a smart remark, hits him back, and then tells Wolverine, "Did you know that I have a mutant healing factor?" As he stands on his feet and pulls out his swords, with Wolverine saying, "You're going to need it, bub, because you just maxed out my tolerance level." Deadpool and Wolverine then charge each other while Deadpool spins his sword saying, "Did old Deadpool make a little bitty Wolvie Wiggins upset? Wait till I slice and dice your face. That'll take the sunshine out of your day and twist your mad dial up to 10. The two then start slicing and dicing each other, with Deadpool ultimately stabbing Wolverine in the back with both of his swords, dropping Wolverine for the count. Deadpool then sheaves his swords and walks out saying, "Ta-ta, Wolverine, my public awaits. Exit stage left." So Deadpool was clearly there to kill Kane, as he's pissed off he's with his ex Vanessa, but more importantly, this caused the first confrontation between Wolverine and Deadpool. Now, I will say the only reason why Deadpool won so easily is because at this point in time, Wolverine's healing factor wasn't working at 100%. In fact, he was just starting to regain his mutant healing factor. Wolverine even gets up shortly after Deadpool leaves saying, "If I had taken a cutting like that only a month ago, I'd have been worm munchies for sure. Good thing my mutant healing factor is beginning to kick in again." But no matter how you slice it, no pun intended, Deadpool won their first match ever. But we have several more battles between the two, and next up comes from Deadpool 27 from his 90s run. The issue starts off with Deadpool seeking therapy from Dr. Bong. Sounds like a doctor I'd like to visit. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you the way that you are?
In any case, Dr. Bong is actually the arch enemy of Howard the Duck, which is really funny. But Deadpool is there to seek counsel from him, as he's been having crazy hallucinations after that time he saved the universe from a 10-story tall googly-eyed space baby by dooming all of creation to an agonizing life of free will. Dr. Bong tells him, unfortunately, the medicine that would be prescribed in this case won't work with your healing factor, and eventually tells Deadpool in order to unearth your problem, a hero must die, and that hero ends up being none other than Wolverine. Once Deadpool finds Wolverine, he punches Kitty Pryde, who Logan is with, which causes Logan to claw up, with Deadpool saying, "Yay, it's fighty time, blood, blood, blood." And so their battle begins, with the two fighting all over the place, rooftops, streets, just everywhere. As Deadpool fights, he doesn't shut up because Deadpool. Deadpool eventually stabs Wolverine in the side, but Wolverine just tackles him through a window saying, "Bad idea to push my buttons like this, Wilson. You should have walked away." But Deadpool replies, "I see your lips flapping and I hear sound coming out, but you're not saying anything. Go deeper." As Wolverine stabs him in the shoulder saying, "That deep enough, Merc?" With Deadpool replying, "Logan, you were always too literal for your own good." A little bit after this, Wolverine tells Deadpool, "I came here to settle a blood debt and you've ruined it." At which point the two start fighting again for the next several pages, with Wolverine eventually being victorious, stabbing Deadpool right through the back with both sets of his claws, raising him in the air over his head, screaming in rage, winning the fight in epic fashion. Yeah, this was certainly one of their more brutal fights. It lasted for like half of the issue, but don't worry, this next one is amazing as well. And it comes from Wolverine Annual 99. In this story, Deadpool was hired to assassinate a pretentious writer, or at least he thinks. But Wolverine is nearby getting a book signed by an author for Kitty Pryde when he smells Deadpool. So he heads outside saying, "Is that who I smell it is?" So it is, and I thought tonight was going to be a dull night as he puts on his work clothes, so to speak. Meanwhile, Deadpool is doing his whole assassin thing, getting ready to kill his target when Wolverine shows up saying, "Howdy, Pool, how's it hanging?" As Deadpool is currently hanging off the side of a building. Deadpool replies with a quick kick saying, "Great, so now you're a comedian, a bad one. And we're talking Bob Saget bad here." Wolverine then picks up a steel pipe saying, "Good. Fight back. That makes it more fun to bash in your skull." He then starts beating Deadpool more, saying, "This is for Kitty," referring to the fight we just talked about in Deadpool 27 when he uppercut Kitty Pryde right in front of Wolverine. Deadpool then starts to get back up on his feet saying, "Do you want me to apologize? Ouch. Okay. Oh no, not the claws," as Wolverine starts going after Deadpool with his claws. The two then fall through the roof skylight while fighting, and when they land, Deadpool gets up saying, "You had your chance to turn my face into a fine tomato puree, Wolvie. Now it's my turn," as he throws one of his swords right through Wolverine's shoulder, nailing him to the wall. But Wolverine says, "Look behind you." Deadpool gets in his face saying, "Behind me? Do you think I just fell off a turnip truck?" And as he looks behind him, a giant werewolf picks him up off the ground with him saying, "Geez, what is this? Blindside Deadpool Day?" But Wolverine is able to pull the sword out of his shoulder, slashing the werewolf, with him and Deadpool being able to get away. Wolverine asks, "Care to tell me what exactly is going on here?" Deadpool tells him, "Don't look at me. I was hired to kill a pretentious writer. No werewolves were part of the deal." So at this point, Deadpool and Wolverine team up and fight said werewolf. Originally, Wolverine was out for revenge for what Deadpool did to Kitty Pryde in issue 27 of Deadpool, so it was a brief confrontation, but a confrontation that led to their first team up. Next up, we have Wolverine 154. This is a simple, straightforward fight that lasts for 6 pages. What's going on here, the reason why Deadpool is after Wolverine with a team of mercenaries, is because Deadpool was hired to bring in Wolverine by someone who wants to dissect and experiment on mutants, and they're paying Deadpool a whole lot of money, so Deadpool happily accepted the job. Wolverine initially says, "Deadpool, I'm guessing you're the one in charge. Paying gig, or is this personal?" Deadpool replies, "You know how it is, Wolvie. I'm checking out markedmen.com, and there's your adorable mug alongside a number so big, I thought Ed McMahon was springing for the hit. Believe me, if you knew the kind of dough I'm looking at, you'd off yourself just to die a rich man." Wolverine replies, "Sounds like something I should look into. You know what though? This fight hasn't even started yet, and I'm already bored. Do us all a favor, Wade. Don't start this." Deadpool says, "Now I knew you were going to be like that. That's why I brought along my boys, Pigskin, Vance Rebus, Dead-Eyed Dick, Megamax, Reckless Eric, and Minimax." And right after this, the fight starts with Wolverine getting the first punch in, saying, "Don't say I never offered to point out a shortcut. Tell me what's really going on here, Wade. Last time we tangled, things ended on reasonably good terms," referring to the previous story in Wolverine Annual 99, where they teamed up to fight a werewolf. Deadpool just replies while kicking Wolverine in the face, "Yeah, well, things change. I mean, come on. We've knocked noggins enough for you to know that trying to figure me out is like trying to predict the migrating habits of Africanized bees." Deadpool goes to pull out his swords, but Wolverine just jumps on top of them, putting his claws right in Deadpool's face, but Deadpool is able to kick Wolverine off. At this point, they stand up and look at each other as Wade pulls out his gun, saying, "As much as I've enjoyed this all too brief round of verbal gymnastics, I think it's time I got on with doing what I came here to do. I'll make it fast, old man. Scout's honor." Wolverine just growls as he starts charging Deadpool. Deadpool then starts unleashing rounds that we realize are actually tranquilizer darts, with Wolverine saying, "You're kidding, right? My healing factor." But Deadpool just looks at Wolverine saying, "Is in no way capable of holding off enough sedative to drop a T-Rex, so just shut up and fall down, okay? If anyone wanted to hear a dissertation on your mutant healing powers, you'd be raking it in on the college lecture circuit. Besides, I've heard enough about them as it is." And with that, Deadpool wins this fight between the two with tranquilizer darts, short and sweet. Next up, we have probably the most brutal Deadpool Wolverine fight of all time, and one of their longest fights. The fight actually goes on for 5 issues of almost all action and fighting between the two of them, and it all goes down in Wolverine Origins issues 21 through 25. Now, as I just said, take your pick of any issue with this story or any page. It'll most likely have panels of the two of them fighting, and it's epic. But for our purposes, we're going to highlight the best part of the fight from issue 23. The short of it is, at this point during the fight, Wolverine gets distracted by a mom nearby yelling, "Somebody help me, please. My baby's in the car, please hurry," as we see her baby trapped in a car that's currently on fire. So Wolverine stops fighting Deadpool to break the window and pull the baby out. But an explosion goes off in the car, blowing Wolverine back, with him saying no. But this is Wolverine, so he heads into the fiery car anyway to pull the baby out, only to realize it's a trick. The baby is actually a bomb that goes off in his hand. We then see Deadpool going up to the woman saying, "I mean, you really sold it. Even I believed you, and I knew it was all fake." She replies, "Really?" He says, "Oh yeah, here, I'm gonna give you a little extra to go get a headshot done." While talking to the woman, we see Wolverine emerge from the flames, more pissed off than ever, with Deadpool saying, "Oh hey, Logan," as Wolverine jumps towards Deadpool, with Deadpool shooting him in the torso. Wolverine then stabs Deadpool with his claws, Deadpool stabs Wolverine with his swords, and the stabbing each other just continues before ultimately Deadpool puts his gun under Wolverine's jaw, pulling the trigger, temporarily killing Wolverine. That's right, Deadpool gave Wolverine one of the most brutal headshots ever. I mean, just look at this panel. It's crazy. Now, like I said, this only temporarily kills or incapacitates Wolverine because of his healing factor, but it's still extremely brutal nonetheless, and definitely the highlight of their fight over these few issues. And the final time these two battled that we're going to talk about is from Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, when Deadpool does exactly that. Kill the entire Marvel Universe. But in issue 3 of the series, he faces off against Wolverine yet again. And unfortunately for Wolverine, in this battle, Deadpool is carrying around a sword made out of carbonadium, a synthetic form of adamantium created by the Russians. Now, while it's not as strong as the real deal, it does affect Wolverine's healing factor. Because of this, we see the fight goes really fast. Wolverine gets a few slices in, but ultimately Deadpool stabs Wolverine right through the abdomen and says, "Your mutant power isn't regeneration, it's popularity. But don't worry, I've got big plans, and all the popularity in the world can't save you this time," as he chops Wolverine's head off, killing him. Yeah, it's quick, brutal, and epic. Dude literally decapitated the most popular mutant in all of comics. I actually feel Deadpool 3 is gonna end with Deadpool killing Wolverine, as I'm not sure Hugh Jackman is going to keep playing Wolverine after this movie. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but I feel like it makes more sense that Deadpool kills Wolverine and the rest of the Fox universe by the end of the movie, setting up a new continuity going forward. Either way, that wraps up our look at several of the most brutal fights between Deadpool and Wolverine. More than anything, we hope we get our first look at the movie tonight during the big game. And if the comic gods are with us, they'll pull inspiration from some of these iconic battles for Deadpool 3. But what about you? Are you excited to see Deadpool fight Wolverine in live action on the big screen for the very first time? And what are your thoughts on the first trailer after you've seen it? Let us know down in the comments. Other than that, we'll see you next time when we give you the origin of Zern, our Batman.